we're trying to go live here, but we acknowledge that we're having internet issues and we're not sure who it's with. So if it's with me, I'll happily get out of this broadcast. And if it's with them, then they get out of it. So once we get some viewers here, someone will just let us know. Yeah. Could you hear me fine?
Yeah, now it's good.
Okay, good. So, yeah, Rolland Market Mashup. This is our new time. We do this Mondays and Thursdays just for not the full half hour, about 15 minutes just to get the rundown here. And, Dad, I'll kick it over to you here. What are you looking at today? Because,
I don't know how you can do anything but look at mushroom stocks. Michael killed it on these. Every one of them is up multiple percent. SHRMF up 21%, MMEDF, the main one, up 33%, HSTRF up 43%, and RVVTF up 54%.
Boom, baby.
The only one that's down is the one I own, Compass.
Yeah,
Mike. All the
Mike.
money's going into these other names, huh?
Yeah, it's MMEDF has been such an incredible stock for me. I know Mike owns all of them, but it's wild. You never think if you throw a really tiny amount of money into something and it works, it eventually turns into an amount where on days like today, you really do feel 35%. It's my number one stock today in gains.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know how it couldn't be. And the other one that we've mentioned a long time ago, CLXT, is up 18% on some type of partial deal with ADM. But there's not a lot of volume there. And Vuzi, which we've talked about quite a bit, is up 8%.
And how about Dropbox? DBX, baby.
That's what I was just going to kind of say as a whole here. I'm curious what you're looking at with the markets as a whole, because, earlier, there's no doubt the Dow has been gradually sliding all day. And I know New York came out and announced they're going to go into full-on shutdown this morning. Germany's in shutdown mode, and everyone's talking about this Santa Claus rally. And this kind of does feel like the beginning of what could be a Santa Claus rally. But what are you looking at outside of all these biotech stocks?
Well, you got to look at the big names like we've talked about before to see how they're acting. Microsoft kicked it off pretty well today, but it's only up about 0.65%, and Apple is pretty much flat. So I'm not quite sure, what stocks people are plugged into here, but
it's a mixed bag of hammers. It seems like the stocks that have hit their all-time highs are the ones that keep going. Like Twilio is a beast, continues to go up every day.
Right. Mosaic, which we've mentioned, hit a 52-week high today. Those are getting the money, it seems.
Zillow Group, 52-week high today, all-time highs for Zillow Group.
And at the same time, the market's absorbing these secondaries like NIO, which was priced at 39, and it's acting pretty well off of that pricing. But remember how far down it is from the top now. And the other one, which we're waiting to see where they price it, if they do one, is GME, which we talked about a lot. And that stock has gotten hit off of after the earnings, and I don't know where they're going to price that secondary or if they're going to even do it right now.
Yeah, and then with the electric vehicle space, Fisker looks like it's finally having its bounce back day. They had that 3-day slide. They're up over 7% today, and it feels like they can go way higher. I know there's a lot of people that think long term this could be a real home run that could be, all new levels compared to where it's at now. I don't really know what to make of it. When I read up on it, it seems like a lot of fluff, and I'm afraid to go near it. You got some old European guy who's good at designing cars that's kind of already been around the block, failed once. Now he's at it again, and they went public. Seems like they made a lot of money out of it, but I wonder if we're ever going to actually see the car. And then, Laser, huge reversal today. That's kind of, Dad, I know you ended up cutting your losses with them, which I
Yeah,
get.
I cut some of the losses. I'm still long a little bit, but I can't be playing these things too big because it's just such a big guess, and that's all you could say about these things. Uh, Seems like the same money running around all the same names now, and every time there's a secondary, it drains the whole group. So I think it's absorbing all these IPOs and secondaries and planning for the next one. There's always another one right around the corner, it seems. And that's what the market is trying to digest here.
Yeah, just looking at Dash here, DoorDash, it's down 12% today. This is actually my first time even looking at it. And Airbnb is down 8.5%. So no shocker there. No shocker there.
And the other one, that HYFM, is down 11%.
That could be a good buying opportunity here.
That's the one that Michael knows someone who's involved.
HYFM, right?
Yeah, that's the hydraulic company that went public last week. That is involved heavily in the cannabis space with production. I think I think something we have to bring up here too, Dan and Dad, is with this pandemic. Naturally, I think there's a lot of speculation off, like we bring up Dropbox. I know we brought them up last week. The reason I even bought that stock was after that Slack deal with CRM, Salesforce. When they bought Slack, I thought to myself, we're in this era now where I think the pandemic and what's coming out of this heading into the new year, you have a lot of consolidation brewing in different spaces. And there's a domino effect with that. So I think that's a lot of why you see some of these moves is, speculations at an all-time high with, who's the next one to get bought? When is the shroom boom really taking off? When is the FDA approval coming? It almost seems like timelines have been expedited. What's the new normal?
The only thing that's not going to be expedited is how long it's going to take to get these new drugs in actual circulation if they happen.
Look at this. As we're talking here, the Dow's about to go negative. Same with the S&P, like quickly. I don't know what's happening. The market looks like it's like dropping fast right now as we're talking. I don't know if it's nothing, but if you have some sort of reversal from where the market was at this morning and it closes red, that's not going to be great. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and I think there's a few names in there like Disney, which is off quite a bit today, right?
Some sort of down.
That's healthy. Disney ran up like crazy last week on that streaming news, and it went up a bit too much quickly. So I don't look at this as a negative for Disney.
But let's see what is getting hit in the Dow. I mean, Kevin O'Leary is negative on the airlines.
Apple's red.
Boeing's come off.
But Dad, can you highlight with this lockdown again happening in the cases where they are, and on the other end, the vaccine starting to be distributed? Do you like a booking here, or I know you've been big on that.
Yeah, well, I do like booking, but I'm playing that long term, not for any kind of.
But for our viewer, someone that doesn't own this stock, that obviously O'Leary brings up he hates airlines, but there's other ways to play that. And do you wait and be patient for the new year to even jump on stocks like this?
Yeah, and I think we got to realize, even though the vaccine's starting today, like in the state of New Jersey, there's only going to be the first week 30,000 vaccinations.
So we really need, when you really think about herd immunity, what that really means is you need X amount of vaccines actually distributed first, which is really, I think, around 330 million people need to be vaccinated before that's even a thing.
No, not that many. But
the markets look ahead, and it's all happening in front of us. So even if
I think it's all going to happen, but maybe people were kind of hoping more numbers early, but it's going to take time.
But is there a chance this doesn't get distributed as quickly as the street predicted, and that could lead to some turmoil here?
I don't think so. I think it's getting distributed, even if it's a little late. It's happening. It's not like it's not going to happen. So,
Dad, I'll tell you, there is going to be the typical end of the year Santa Claus rally, or not so much because it's been such a hot year already.
Well, it's been a hot month early on. I mean, we got to see. I think you still get it. I think you're still going to get. The problem is what names, and it's usually the strong ones, like we said. And, and there's a lot of stocks that are mixed today. That's for sure. I mean, look at
One thing to bring up real quick that was interesting was there's been a ton of unusual option buying in the EEN ETF, which is emerging markets. So I don't know what to make of that, if it's anything, if it's nothing, but I thought that was interesting to at least bring up.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good sign for the market because emerging markets rarely goes very far unless the U.S. market is strong.
Gotcha.
There's a big correlation without any question on that. Where is BABA right now? BABA. This thing got hit hard today off of that story.
I'm not in this currently. I'm looking to get into BABA. It could be I might wait a couple more days, but I'm definitely thinking this could be a good 2021 stock.
But when you talk about emerging markets, this thing is in as we said, all the mutual funds. It's like the number one holding.
Well, yeah, it gives you exposure to China in a lot of people's view, the least risky way.
Yeah.
So
Tesla, $27.
Yeah, Plug is getting interesting again. Let's see where.
Didn't you like that at 26, 25 around?
Well, let's see where it is now.
Oh, it's under $26.
Yeah, I mean,
good buy for a day trade back to 26.25.
Let's take a look a little longer.
CrowdStrike doing down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a key level for Plug.
Fiverr doing.
I mean, you could probably buy Plug here with a tight stop, like 25.75 or so.
Yeah, I think there's definitely more interesting names to play right now.
There's always more interesting names. The problem is finding them.
Fisker is really an interesting name if you look at the chart today. And obviously Twilio. I mean, that stock's going to 400. There's no doubt about it. I'm tempted to buy call options because I already own the stock, and now I have sold call options to the point where I'm basically going to be all out of the stock at about 360, which is huge. I'm in under 300, so I'm pumped about that.
Look at selling puts.
Well, yeah, it's that, or I was looking at possibly even buying call options at 400 because I think it'll hit, and they'll probably be. I could probably buy them for like $750 right now. They'll probably be worth $40.
Or you could sell puts around there and give yourself a little cushion in case it doesn't hit that, where you're buying it at a lower level and not being out if it doesn't hit it.
Yeah, no, I mean the big thing with selling puts is it just takes up more. I have more leverage to do the calls. Like if I'm doing puts, I have to.
Yeah, margin. I got you.
No, I don't like that strategy unless the stock has gotten hit really hard, which this thing is the opposite. But it could work.
That's why I like the call side of things, because the stock just, if it continues, then the calls will hit and they'll be up a ton in value, and you can kind of play it without playing it too aggressively, which I don't ever do. It just, this feels like the right atmosphere for those types of moves, Yeah,
it's really, maybe it's time for Amazon to have a move towards the ties.
I was telling you that last week. That Amazon is not really, it hasn't done much the last few months.
Where are the 3,500s trading for January?
What do you want? Puts or calls?
Yeah, the puts. Selling the puts on that.
I like where your head's at with that.
In case this thing has a real rally into the end of the year.
And also Apple. Like all I keep hearing about with this, their new headphones, the whole thing with the Apple Watch now in the studios, and I feel like this thing should be popping hard here heading into the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dad, did you say 3,500?
Yeah, we're 3,400.
Yeah, for January 15th, they're paying $358.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to take a shot on that going down to zero.
Yeah, you'd be getting in at the stock at like $31.50, or you would just be collecting the premium. and right now it's at 31.67.
It's hardly any premium. I'm really surprised. Where are the 3,500 calls trading?
About $31.
Yeah, you're better off playing the puts. You're only $16 out, right?
Yeah. And to wrap it up here, any other names you guys are looking at, or did we kind of cover it all?
Dan, I know you're already in this. They're up huge, but like the Shroomboom, that ENTBF stock, I think is the dark horse in that space with their angle on DMT. So for our viewers, if you're not already on this bandwagon, don't get too crazy if you are jumping in them, because it's still very risky and early on, inning one probably in the space. But I do think that is a stock that has been overlooked in that space. No one's talking about them, and they have a very unique angle that no one else is really taking out of the high flyers there.
Yeah.
I got another one today that I'm thinking about buying. I bought a little bit, SSPK, which is another SPAC in the marijuana space, which smart people are in.
Interesting. Yeah. And the other stock that we've talked about.
Up huge last week, SSPK?
Yeah, it's come off big time.
Interesting.
And the last stock I'll just throw out here before we wrap this up that we haven't talked about in a while, but is at all-time highs right now, is Penn National.
Yeah, great day.
Yeah, it was over. I mean, it's down off of its highs today. It might go back up, but this thing hit 84.50 earlier.
Wow.
Spike up 12.5%. Now it's up 7.5%. So,
and, having said that, remember Donkey Kong did their deal at 52.
So does that mean that there's still shares cycling through that deal?
It could be that people are, anchored to that price. So
it seems like it's having a tough time getting over it. But I will say it's good that it's at least it seems like staying over 50 now.
Yeah, it's a very good support level for DraftKings.
Yeah, a great play is if it does get over 52, it could be that you get a big move fast.
Up to 60.
Well, possibly right to the highs, especially with Penn acting the way it is. It's been, they've kind of gone together over time, right?
Yeah, I always ask.
The future is bright with that. You're going to see so much pent up demand too when people are out and about. They're going to roll out some things no one even knows is coming yet. That's why at DraftKings and Penn, you can't go wrong holding them.
Yeah, and I always ask myself, is there a chance Penn gets rolled up? They're not that expensive compared to some of these other games.
The casino companies do not have a lot of cash on hand right now.
I think down the road, definitely. I don't think now. I think you could see Penn getting rolled up in a couple of years. But yeah, the casinos need to.
They're not doing well. They're not thinking about anything but survival right now.
All right. Well.
Anything else?
No, I mean, keep an eye on Laser, because anytime you see a stock do a midday reversal, whether it's positive or negative, it usually is possibly breaking a trend. And Laser, which I think that's that aluminum technology company, I kind of think they're the real deal. And they had a hot IPO, and it's come down a lot now. And
that Citron level, if you remember, since that article came out, they've acted like shit. And they're the same company that put the $100 price target on CMPS. They put a $20 price target on Laser. So, that definitely was what led to most of that.
Yeah, and I think that's why you saw VLDR get some strength, because it was off of the same research.
But Dan, I'm with you. I think this is a good long-term hold. I mean, I'm long it. And
the 50s are still trading above $1, which is incredible for January.
I know. It really is.
So I don't know what 1,000 shares of this and sell those.
But that's how you play this right now. It's like, if you actually like this name, you buy the stock and you sell call options. But
I like the name, but I want to kind of.
I would not sell 50s now. I would look at the 35s or 40s if I was going to do that.
50. They're probably paying insane premiums. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
where
sell,
are the 35s right now for January?
I'll tell you right now. $2.85.
$2.85.
Yeah, and the 30s are at $4.
Yeah, I mean that's probably your best bet. You buy the stock right here,
Sell the
and you
30s.
sell the 30s at $4, and you're in. It gives you downside to 25.
Yep, and gives you upside of a $5 trade in
Yeah, and
about.
that's basically if the stock goes up, who cares? You're making 15%, a
You
little
want
more
it to
than
go.
that, in a month.
You want the stock to go up. You
Right.
want to. Yeah, you don't want to collect.
If the stock goes to 50, you don't care. You're out. You're on to your next thing. Who cares? That's
Yeah,
that's a great trade as long as you don't think laser's going
Bankrupt.
back down to 15 or something like that, which it could.
it definitely could. I mean, it's tough to even know where the base and support actually is on some of these stocks that have just
Yeah,
had
they're
such.
so new.
Yeah, there's really no support yet. That's why I like to usually wait a couple of weeks before even jumping on these IPOs.
Well, take a look at SSPK, the one I just mentioned, and look at the day chart on that. It looks like if it can break through like 25, it's got a lot of room.
SSPK.
Yeah, look at the day chart on this thing.
What, am I looking at the right thing? SSPK. Where are you getting 25 from? It's trading at what, 12.13 right now?
Yeah, 12.25 I'm talking about.
Oh, 12.25. I thought you meant $25.
No, 12.25.
Yeah, are you talking about for like a single day trade?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this thing could easily rally and be a great day trade. I don't really know anything about this. This is a weed SPAC, you said?
Yeah, it's a weed SPAC. It came out, it ran up to like 15 last week. And I heard about it today. And it looks interesting just from the fact of where it's been, what it's about, and some of the players in it.
Interesting.
How's Bitcoin trading? Yeah, this thing I think, Dan, is getting ready to break out to all-time highs. I feel it.
Bitcoin?
It reached a support. It broke through last week after it dipped under 18,000. Now it's back over 19.2. And I think this thing is getting ready to break out to new highs in the new year.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, everyone's saying that, so I don't know.
No, everyone's not saying that. I know a lot of people saying the opposite, but I'm confident it's going to.
Reports that like companies are filing for buying a lot of Bitcoin in advance before they actually buy it, and people are like,
there was a big deal. This insurance company bought like 100 mil last week of it. That it's barely any part of their portfolio, but you could just see why this thing is building momentum. It's still a lot of institutional money.
Gotcha. Well, I'll end our broadcast.